Role-playing games are some of the most innovative and feature-rich games on the market, and us gamers can spend hundreds of hours in one game alone. Xbox has been known as a hub for RPGs since its creation, and Xbox Game Pass now gives us access to many more RPGs. That is why today we will be covering the 20 best RPGs available on Xbox Game Pass in 2024. My name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation. Subscribe for more Xbox content every single day, and let's dive right in. First up, we have a game that had a Game of the Year shout at the 2023 Game Awards, and that is the fantastic, classic-looking RPG known as Sea of Stars. This game is primarily leaning towards a more turn-based RPG aspect, which is heavily inspired by the classic games of old back in the early 90s and early 2000s. The developers have modernized the classic RPG in terms of turn-based combat, storytelling, exploration, and interactions. They've created one of the biggest indie masterpieces easily of the past 10 years. There is a reason why it was nominated for so many awards, and that is due to the phenomenal storytelling and incredible deep RPG mechanics. If you want a classic RPG with new and improved mechanics, you need to give this game a go. Up next, we have the open world RPG known as War Tales. This is a game in which you will lead a group of mercenaries in their search for wealth across a massive and detailed medieval universe. You will get to explore the world, recruit some unique companions, collect dangerous bounties, and unravel the secrets of the tombs of ancients. This journey through the vast, beautiful open world is full of so many questions and interesting encounters, and you will get to immerse yourself in lively villages and the remnants of a bygone era. This game has been given heavy praise by many who have played it on PC and Xbox, and it is certainly one of the best RPGs that has come to the service over the last year. Now, let's rewind back to the good old glory days of Xbox, and back to the Xbox 360. There were so many amazing games, and I remember running home from school just to turn on my Xbox. Now that Xbox has given us backwards compatibility, you can get access to arguably my favorite game out of the franchise, and that is Fable II. This game is easily one of the best RPGs ever made on a console, and is incredibly unique in terms of game systems and comedic British writing. If you haven't played Fable II, you need to give this absolute gem of a game a go, but I do certainly recommend playing all three mainline games, as they each have their own unique gameplay and awesome stories to experience. They are all available right now to play on Xbox Game Pass. This game really surprised a lot of Xbox Game Pass subscribers last year, and it even got a Game of the Year shout at the Game Awards. Xbox and PC gamers got access to the brilliant Souls-like Lies of P, and this game is certainly pretty heavy on the RPG elements. This is a dark twist on the story of Pinocchio and drops gamers into the fictional city of Krat, which is not only stunning visually, but is incredibly mesmerizing from start to finish. Lies of P definitely lived up to the high expectations put in place by From Software, and has phenomenal graphics and atmosphere, epic boss fights, and a good soundtrack and story. If you love Souls-like experiences with great RPG mechanics and over-the-top boss battles, then definitely give this game a go. One RPG I feel that does not get much recognition on Game Pass to this day is the excellently crafted Crusader Kings 3. I feel this franchise does go under the radar quite a lot, and it is certainly a shame, as this is one of the most robust turn-based RPGs that I've ever experienced. Crusader Kings 3 promises to take you on a journey throughout history from the age of the Viking raids to the fall of Byzantium. A basic summary of the adventure would be that you're tasked with heading up a medieval dynasty, and the goal is to keep it running for as long as you can. You must do this all whilst taking down enemies, forging alliances, and engaging in all wars along the way. It sounds absolutely epic, but so too is the experience of playing through this game, and I cannot recommend this game enough to any Game Pass subscriber out there. Now, I played this RPG back on release, and to be honest, it's not the strongest in the series, however it is still exceptional and made by one of my favourite studios, BioWare. Dragon Age Inquisition was the last entry in this franchise back on the previous gen consoles, but boy does this game still hold up mechanically and graphically. The game boasts an expansive and beautifully crafted world filled with diverse landscapes, cultures, and lore. It does this whilst giving us some excellent combat and a diverse set of brilliant characters to interact with and team up with. The main storyline is centered around the Inquisitor's efforts to stop the mysterious tear in the veil and the chaos it brings, and it is so engaging and filled with political intrigue, moral dilemmas, and personal struggles. Definitely one of the greatest games we have on Game Pass to date, with a whole boatload of content to dive right into. There was always going to be an Obsidian game on this list, and Fallout New Vegas is easily the one game that marked Obsidian as one of the greatest dev teams in the world. This RPG for me was what got me invested into the world of Fallout, and I think tops the charts of quite a lot of gamers' lists. Where Fallout 3 was set in DC, Obsidian decided to set the game in the Mojave Desert, around the ruins of old Las Vegas. The theme throughout this game is a Western one, but many different factions are present, each with their own unique and often hilarious style. This game is filled with great characters, hilarious dialogue, and so many entertaining quests that it would be hard to do them all in just one single playthrough. This is easily in my top 5 RPGs of all time, and I cannot recommend this game enough to any gamer out there. If you love expansive and incredible branching storylines and hundreds of hours of content, then you need to pick up and play the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This package is incredible and includes all the single player based content and over 40 DLC from the highly acclaimed Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3. The best thing about this package is that all the games have been remastered and optimized for 4K Ultra HD and run at 60 FPS across both the series consoles. The Mass Effect trilogy is renowned for its deep and immersive storytelling, and it will captivate you with its rich lore and memorable characters. The games are some of the best action storytelling experiences ever made, and you need to play them if you haven't done so already. This is easily one of the best RPGs ever created by BioWare. Starfield is an open world RPG where you aren't just free to explore a sprawling continent, but the entire universe. You'll be piloting a ship of your own design between planets and explore the galaxy step by step. If you're a fan of games like Skyrim and Fallout, then you're going to love this one due to its open-ended design, freeform approach to character building, and the biggest world Bethesda has ever made. The game has some absolutely beautiful moments, with space being a breathtaking backdrop, and it will keep you fixed for hours with throwing in weird and wonderful quests, which is what you come to expect from a Bethesda title. This is definitely a great game to launch yourself into if you like single-player role-playing games with hundreds of hours of content, and there is still stuff still being discovered by gamers to this day. Our next title is a massive hit, and I was absolutely blown away to see this arriving onto Xbox, let alone day one into Game Pass last year. Monster Hunter Rise is the latest installment in the award-winning and top-selling Monster Hunter series. In this game, you will become a hunter, explore brand new maps, and use a variety of weapons to take down fearsome monsters as part of an all-new storyline. This release came packed to the brim with a number of additional visual and performance-enhancing options, and it made the entire package just even better. If you love the idea of hunting down a plethora of monsters with distinct behaviors and deadly ferocity, then this is the one you need to check out. Cassette Beasts may not be a huge AAA title like many on this list, but it has to be one of the best RPGs ever made by an indie team within the last decade. This is a very unique and awesome turn-based open-world RPG where you can collect monsters, fuse them together with cassettes, and make the ultimate arsenal of beasts as you try to find your way home. It's a cool take on the Pokemon-style battles we have seen for decades, and at this point, I'm always open to experiencing these awesome indies that try to change up the already well-done formula. The fusions and creature design are delightful and energetic, and the environments are just so charming and nice. I really recommend this game to those who love Pokemon likes, and for those who miss that sweet era of 2D games where pixel art thrived. Whilst doing research for this list, I couldn't believe that this game was on Game Pass. I played Darkest Dungeon back in 2016, and it was easily my game of the year, and seeing it on a Game Pass, I've made an automatic recommendation for any subscriber on the service. Darkest Dungeon is a challenging gothic roguelike turn-based RPG about the psychological stresses of adventuring. You will have the ability to recruit, train, and lead a team of flawed heroes against unimaginable horrors, stress, disease, and even the ever-encroaching dark. This game has everything from fantastic turn-based combat, awesome characters, amazingly written story, and the atmosphere is unlike anything that I've ever seen. You won't be disappointed when you play this on Game Pass, and I recommend you put it right to the top of your list right now. If you love large-scale battles, strategy, and action RPGs, then let me introduce you to Mountain Blade II Bannerlord. You will get to explore, raid, and conquer your way across the vast continent of Calradia, whilst making friends and enemies along the way. Not only is this game grand in scope, but you'll get to raise your own army, lead it into battle, commanding and fighting alongside your troops in the thick of action. Basically, it's a game that lets you be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want, within reason, of course. Fair warning though, Bannerlord is really light on story, and this is the type of game where you'll make your own stories about the adventures and challenges that you face. It's still a fantastic experience, but do be warned, you will easily spend hundreds of hours in this game. One game that I really enjoyed back on release and have decided to dive back into recently is the excellent Souls-like RPG shooter Remnant II. This was an amazing surprise drop into Game Pass for the start of December last year, and I think many were not expecting this gem to be on the service so quickly. This game really shows off why players got a next-gen console, as the environments are absolutely stunning, and my immediate reaction upon entering a new realm was being left for words. The gunplay and RPG elements are fantastic and robust, and really sets the tone for this gritty and dark world. Remnant was always a fantastic franchise, and this second entry improves on the prequel in so many amazing ways. You won't be disappointed when you boot up this game for the very first time. Now, Wild Heart's experimental, refreshing approach towards monster hunting makes it one of the best RPGs on Game Pass. From Omega Force, the folks behind the Warriors franchise, Wild Hearts combines the joyful kill loop craft repeat game loop of the Monster Hunter series, but it introduces it with Fortnite-esque construction. This results in a bizarre, bombastic but lovable title with plenty to offer. In addition to its mechanical pedigree, the game is stunning to look at. There are beautiful and eye-catching vistas which frame sumptuous environments. The monsters themselves are gorgeous and look like they just stumbled in from a book of ancient myths. Though this game is not a perfect title by any stretch of the imagination, Wild Hearts is an underrated joy and well worth a look at if you have a Game Pass subscription. Yakuza Like a Dragon has it all. Dramatic highs, staggering lows, and hilarious middles. You in this game will play as Ichiban Kasuga, a Yakuza grunt who has lost everything and has to rebuild his life with the help of his friends. Where previous Yakuza games were more action-oriented, Like a Dragon is a turn-based RPG, offering a loving homage to the likes of Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. While the game deals with heavy themes for family, regret, and tragedy, Like a Dragon is also laugh out loud funny, reveling in the absurdity of its characters. There are also a ton of mini games ranging from picking up trash on a bike to some surprisingly catchy karaoke set pieces. To sleep on Like a Dragon is to sleep on one of the best RPGs available on Game Pass to date. One game that does not get enough love but is highly regarded is Pillars of Eternity. This is a modern take on the old school CRPG genre, and for those not in the know, these games provide a top-down isometric vantage from which you can control a party of characters. Pillars of Eternity is a love letter to this tradition and stands as one of the best RPGs on Game Pass when it comes to games of this kind. Taking place in an expansive setting full of rich lore, Pillars lets you set off on a fantasy quest of your dreams. The game boasts strong storytelling and detailed character customization, allowing you to build a character's backstory and abilities to your exact specifications. The game is very similar to that of Baldur's Gate 3, and if you love that experience, then Game Pass has you covered with the phenomenal Pillars of Eternity series. Citizen Sleeper firmly secures a spot on our list for the best RPGs on Game Pass. You play as an android who, having escaped from that corporation that built you, must make a life on a ruined spaceship. You'll need to keep your mind and body whole with a constant supply of food and medication, or else you'll perish. As with any great work of science fiction, Citizen Sleeper has a great deal to say about its own society, how workers are treated, and how the corporation paradigm of unlimited growth isn't sustainable. This indie gem has a lot to say and says it well. Plus, with Citizen Sleeper 2 just on the horizon, it looks like developer Jump Over the Edge is only just warming up. Definitely give this a go if you haven't already on Game Pass, as it is a true indie gem. The Outer Worlds graced us all when it released back in 2019. And is again another title from the so well-known Obsidian Entertainment. We have all seen the masterclass that was Fallout New Vegas, and it also was on this list, but this title certainly takes the best bits of Obsidian's world building and puts it into a whole new experience. you will have to explore a space colony where your character will determine how this player-driven story unfolds. You can expect a multitude of choices, dialogue options and endings, and no way is one playthrough enough to experience the full game. There are some outrageous lines of dialogue and some crazy over-the-top weapons, and if you love games like Fallout, then you will no doubt fall in love with this masterpiece. Ubisoft is always blessing us with Assassin's Creed games on Xbox Game Pass, and gamers finally got to experience one of the first games that arrived for the next generation. Assassin's Creed Valhalla follows the story of Eivor, who is a legendary Viking warrior, as you explore England's Dark Ages and also get to experience the snowy countryside of Norway. This Assassin's Creed is quite possibly the largest entry in the franchise's history, with over 200 hours worth of content and gameplay in the base game alone. There is plenty to experience, as you can imagine, and I still get enthralled to this day when executing a raid on a local settlement. This is well worth a play, and it's available for all Xbox Game Pass subscribers right now. What RPG is your favourite? Let me know down below, and if I've missed one, feel free to make us all aware. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day. Whilst here, check out the video on screen of 20 incredible FPS games that are available on Game Pass right now.